Ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I've been duly advised. So we shall follow that protocol. Wanna go it?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Hamjambo. I know the last 2 days have been very exciting. We have had very insightful conversations. And my role here is very simple. First of all, to thank everyone who participated in this 2024 Smart Government Summit. And of course, thank the development partners who made this possible, starting, of course, with DX5, led by Harry Hare. People normally call him Hairy Hare. So Harry and Tim, of course, on behalf of the Smart Government Department and on behalf of government in general, I want to thank you most sincerely and everybody else who made this possible. But then again, to make very few remarks and highlights on the summit. This summit was to give all of us a platform for making those very necessary conversations. But then it was an avenue where we are coming to initiate conversations. So these conversations should not stop here. We have made very valuable connections. And so let us exchange contacts, meet outside of this forum, and move these conversations forward. But then some things have dominated our conversations here. And first of all is the need to continue consulting very widely when we are implementing these digital transformation initiatives. Let us collaborate, let us partner. That brings about synergy, and we will be able to drive this agenda forward when we are doing it together. Everybody has a role to play and at least something to offer. And therefore, let us all come on the table and do it. But then we have discussed a lot on the issues of capacity building, the people. We said in this journey, the people are a very critical component, and therefore we continue to capacitate, train, upskill, but then in a coordinated approach. I am glad we have had Kenya School of Government with us. They have given us very insightful, engagement. We have had very insightful engagement with them, and therefore that is still another very good area. Integrating artificial intelligence, data analytics, cloud computing, and other emerging technologies in the public service delivery. Again, I was in another forum, and one visiting global partner said, artificial intelligence is here to stay. And somebody who was in the crowd said, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. We are using it. It is integrated in our everyday life. And we also need to adopt it in our service delivery for the people. I will not go beyond that. I want to thank everybody who participated in this. Smart Government is there still to give you a platform to continue collaborating and consulting and partnering so we can drive this together. And therefore, help me invite the Special Envoy on Technology for Kenya, Ambassador Philip Thigo, to come forward and give us his closing remarks. Ambassador, karibu.
Good morning. That's how I always catch you. It's morning in the US. I'm sure it works. Thank you so much. Really, I think for me, very few words. I've been talking almost for 2 days. I think is a reflection just from the opening panel to the sessions. I think this is Smartgov 3, if I'm not wrong. This Smartgov 3, I think from my general just observations, we've really been privileged to have a lot of government participation. I think that was not the case last time. So again, congratulations to government colleagues for showing up. Still a full room, fairly. I think secondly, I think for me, the topics have been quite interesting. We've really had an active participation. Of course, there's the issue and challenge of time. In my view, you can never really have a lot of these conversations, and they can never be enough, especially when the topics are very timely and topical. So again, to congratulate the Smartgov Summit team, this is DX5, for curating, I think, a program that is quite relevant. My third point, basically, I think is to the extent of what I hear mostly is we need more conversations, we need more follow-ups, we need something that ties Smartgov 3 to Smartgov 4. It shouldn't be just an annual event, but it's something that needs to have practical things that happen in between. Very much hearing around multi-stakeholder engagement over time, hearing mostly how do you work together to prioritize digital transformation, hearing a lot around sharing resources so that you can deliver value for citizens. I'm hearing notions of capacity building, skilling and upskilling, whether it's public sector, but also the citizenry writ large to understand the benefits of digital transformation. There's a lot of conversation basically around how do you take advantage of a government that is very much at the driving force of digital transformation and digitizing services. Both cabinet secretaries really emphasized on that particular point, that how do you take advantage of this drive? And so, again, speaks about many ways, how do we ensure that citizens actually utilize the investments that have been made on digital and connectivity for accessing public services and not for other means that are not necessarily of benefit to themselves or to the economy. And then, of course, we live in an era of emerging technologies, artificial intelligence, as Gilbert has said, is how do we ensure that as we were ahead in connectivity on data, is how do we also ensure that we are still ahead on artificial intelligence, but then ensuring that we do not, again, create another divide. I don't want to call it digital divide because it is no longer a digital divide. It is an opportunity divide. Is how do we ensure that even as we leap into the fourth industrial revolution, we do not leave many people behind, and so that they continue to remain excluded from opportunity. And ending with hope and opportunity, I had a lot of conversations of collaborations, let's work together. I didn't hear anybody saying, let me go back to my silo. I had a lot around even people with money. If you missed our panel and you're in the other one, I apologize, you missed a nice panel. Next time, choose wisely. We had a good money conversation, so we know where money is, and we know money is not the problem. So hiyo ingine tuonane nyuma ya tent if you didn't hear everything we talked about. But that's the interesting thing, that the issue really boiled down to the basics. It's about consultation and collaboration. So let me end with that this should not be an event. Let's see how we continue to consult, how we continue to collaborate. We no longer just have silos in government. We've also removed the silos across sectors. No silo between government and civil society, no silo between private sector, government, and academia or research institutions. We've removed all of that, including development partners. So let's see how to collaborate. And at the center of collaboration, not for personal gain, we agree that you can still do good while doing business. And so you can create value for citizens, because ultimately that is what we need to do. And those are the expectations we need to meet. Thank you so much, Gilbert.
Well, thank you, Ambassador. Again, allow me to invite Madam Mary Kerema, our ICT Secretary in charge of e-governance, e-government and digital economy, to give us her closing remarks and officially close the summit. Tumpige makofi anapokuja.
Today I've been in a forum where since yesterday, so let me ride on the protocols that were already laid down. But Your Excellency, our ambassador, my colleagues, development partners, private sector players, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We were very full, but did the other panel come back? Or are we closing other people out? So if they came, that is okay. And therefore, I want to say that as we come to the close of this insightful conference on smart government, I stand before you filled with optimism and a renewed sense of purpose. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to each one of you for your active participation, your thoughtful contributions, and your unwavering commitment to advancing the smart governance. This summit has been a testament to the power of collaboration and collective will to transform our societies for the betterment of our citizens. We have explored the capabilities and complexities of digital transformation, economic inclusivity, and the role of technology in advancing the public service delivery. Our conversations have not only highlighted the immense opportunities that lie before us, and have also underscored the responsibilities we bear as leaders and public servants. Throughout this summit, we've been able to learn that being agile in the way we deliver services as government is no longer an aspiration, but a necessity. Government must be nimble, adapt swiftly to the evolving needs of our citizenry and the rapid pace of technological change. Agility means being proactive rather than reactive. So therefore, we need to change the way we deliver services. We need to put our citizens at the center. And let's ask, what does our citizen want vis-a-vis what we want? Efficiency has been a key theme as well. Smart government isn't about doing more with less. It's about doing better with less. By optimizing our processes and utilizing cutting-edge technologies, we can ensure that resources are not only well managed, but are aligned with the core mission of delivering public value. Equally, we've learned that there is importance in transparency. In today's digital age, citizens expect openness and accountability from their government. By building transparent systems, we foster trust, empower citizens, and create a more inclusive governance model. We have also explored the immense power of being data-driven. Data is no longer just an asset, but the foundation of making smarter, more informed decisions. Harnessing data analytics enables us to predict trends, measure outcomes, and allocate resources where they are needed most. It allows us to move from intuition to insight, from guesswork to precision. So therefore, with the data that we are collecting, and as we have advocated that we want a more connected, a more integrated government. So therefore, as we get influx of data, can we make sure that we can harness data information that will make this government move forward? Lastly, the notion of responsiveness underpins everything we do. In an era where expectations are higher than ever, we need to be responsive to the needs of our citizens, adjusting policies and services in real time. Whether it is improving public service delivery or tackling societal challenges, responsiveness means we put our citizens at the center of our efforts. Kenya, of course, as government, we've made strides in initiatives like the digital superhighway, the national optic fiber backbones, digitalization of government, and the establishment of the digital hubs or smart hubs. These developments are more than just technological advancements. They are building blocks of a more inclusive and connected society. They represent our commitment to ensuring that every citizen, regardless of their location, has access to vital services and opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, we have also recognized the critical importance of trust in governance. The launch of the Trust Summit by our president serves as a reminder that transparency, accountability, and the citizen engagement are essential components of effective governance. Rebuilding trust between government and the citizen is not merely an ideal. It is a necessity in an era where misinformation and disinformation can undermine democratic institutions. Our conversations have not shielded away from the challenges we face: cybersecurity threats, data privacy concerns, and the persistent digital divide are obstacles that we must confront head-on. The alarming statistics of over 1.7 billion cyber threats detected in Kenya over the past 7 years is a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities inherent in our rapidly digitized world. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most profound insights from this summit is that technology alone cannot drive the transformation we seek. It is the people behind the technology, the public servants, the innovators, the educators, who will ultimately determine our success. We have emphasized the need to invest in capacity building to equip our workforce with the skills necessary to leverage technologies. And of course, critical is the emerging technologies. We've talked about the artificial intelligence. We've talked about the data analytics, machine learning, Internet of everything. We've been talking about Internet of Things. It is Internet of everything. These discussions on digital diplomacy have highlighted the interconnectedness of our worlds. External threats require collaborative solutions, and our efforts must extend beyond the national borders. By engaging in international partnerships and dialogues, we can better navigate the complexities of global digital governance. As we return to our respective roles, let us carry forward the spirit of this summit. Let us continue to challenge the status quo, to think boldly, and to act decisively. The commitments we have made here to bridge the digital divide, to enhance cybersecurity, to foster economic inclusivity, and to rebuild trust in our institution must translate into tangible actions. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of smart governance is bright, not because of the technologies we adopt, but because of the collective commitment we share to harness these tools for the better and greater good. Let us live here inspired and invigorated, ready to build on the foundations we have laid during this summit. The insights and the strategies we've gathered here today are the building blocks of a government that is agile, efficient, transparent, data-driven, and responsive. A government that truly serves its people. In closing, I would like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt appreciation to our partners in this summit, DX5, who have been instrumental in making sure that we host this summit, to all the partners and sponsors, and to you, the participants, for your dedication and engagement. Together, we can transform our challenges into opportunities and our visions into realities. Thank you once again for your invaluable contributions. I wish you a safe journey back home, and I look forward to our continued collaboration in the pursuit of smarter, more inclusive, a future together. God bless you. God bless Kenya. Thank you.